Hi there, Marcus.
Hi there, Laura.
It's good that we can see you
everyone.
for real. And we're starting off, you've got some news on the very mysterious world of Bitcoin, because the very credibility of this currency is now under threat, I would say.
Yeah, that credibility has taken a real beating in the past few hours or so. This as the Bitcoin exchange Mt. Gox went dark earlier this Tuesday. On its website, users are now being met with a message that all transactions are halted for the time being. Mt. Gox was once the dominant platform to buy and sell Bitcoins, but there are fears a security breach may have made the site insolvent. Delano De Souza has more.
Click and then nothing. That was what users on Mt. Gox saw once they logged into one of Bitcoin's largest exchanges. This is another blow to the Tokyo-based exchange after it halted withdrawals indefinitely on the 7th of February, citing a cyber attack. In search of answers, one Bitcoin trader flew to Tokyo to find out where his money's gone.
I had 311 Bitcoins in there, which at the time of before this started was worth around $300,000. So it looks like that's disappeared.
It's reported that 750,000 Bitcoin were deposited with Mt. Gox. That's a value of around $365 million. This week, the Mt. Gox CEO resigned from the board of the Bitcoin Foundation, a trade group that promotes the adoption of the digital currency. In an interview last year, he admitted investing in Bitcoin was risky.
Bitcoin would quite qualify as a high-risk investment. If you buy Bitcoin, you should buy with keeping in mind that the value could be zero the day after. There's no guarantee, there's nothing behind Bitcoin trying to keep the market value high.
In November, one Bitcoin was worth over $900. Its value today is around $450. The latest news from Mt. Gox demonstrates the challenges faced with the world's fastest growing currency in a market with no regulation.
The recovery in the Eurozone is picking up, at least if you believe the European Commission, which came out with its latest forecast earlier. It predicts a growth rate of 1.2% this year in the Eurozone. That's slightly higher than an earlier forecast. The Eurozone's largest economy, Germany, is powering ahead, and it is outpacing France and Italy, the Eurozone's second and third largest economies. The Greek economy is also expected to grow for the first time in 6 years in 2014. Now, even though the Commission is more upbeat than it may have been before, it says the pickup is only modest in the Eurozone and it warns against complacency. Let's listen in.
Unemployment remains high in many member states, as we know, although we expect some improvement in the course of this year and next year.
And that was Olli Rehn, of course, the head of monetary affairs within the European Commission. We're going to take a look at the stock markets next. In the United States this hour, we're seeing stocks trading pretty close to the flat line, just underneath that flat line, but not by much. Markets there seem to be taking a little bit of a breather after hitting fresh highs on Monday. In Europe earlier, the indices closed in negative territory. Mining stocks, they were among the losers amid fears that China's appetite for basic resources will come down. Weak outlooks from companies like French media conglomerate Vivendi and oil drilling firm Seadrill also hit sentiment in Europe. If we look at some individual company news, shares in Germany's BASF were under pressure on Tuesday. It came even as the chemicals company posted better than expected fourth quarter results. Earnings between October and December came in above 1.4 billion euros. BASF also forecasts higher growth this year as car makers and consumer goods companies are growing. The American bank JP Morgan Chase is speeding up a cost-cutting drive. As part of those efforts, it says it will reduce the number of employees by 5,000 to 260,000. The lender's consumer and community banking arm will take a harsh hit as customers are using the internet to do banking. JP Morgan is also scaling back its branch expansion plans. And a war of words is heating up between a French minister and European competition authorities. Speaking earlier here in Paris, France's Minister of Industrial Renewal, Arnaud Montebourg, compared the European Commission with the Taliban. He said the competition watchdog should be dismantled since it's too extreme in its rulings. Montebourg said it's hindering European companies from competing globally. Some pretty harsh words there from Arnaud Montebourg. We'll see if they have an effect over in Brussels. Back to you, Laura.
You don't normally hear officials in Brussels being compared to the Taliban, I must say.
No,
that
it's
doesn't
quite
happen every
rare,
day.
I'd say. Quite rare.
Absolutely. Marcus, thank you very much indeed. Now, moving on, we're continuing our special series to coincide with the International Agricultural Fair here in Paris. No, we're not. First of all, we're going to bring you what's got people clicking and sharing and liking and tweeting over the past 24 hours. It's time now for our daily dose of web news.